September 7th, 2017, 8 a.m. Eastern. Equifax pushes a press release onto the wire. 143 million American consumers compromised. Names, social security numbers, birth dates, addresses, driver's licenses. Within a week, that number climbs to 148 million. More than half the adult population of the United States, sitting in one company's servers, a company most of those people never signed up with, never agreed to. By nightfall, the breach notification website collapses under the traffic. The call centers can't answer the phones fast enough. Equifax's own official Twitter account will spend the next 2 weeks accidentally sending victims to a fake phishing site. That's the headline. Everyone got that part. Here's what almost nobody got. The attackers were inside Equifax's network for 76 days. 9,000 database queries, 48 databases breached. And for every single one of those 76 days, the system built specifically to catch intruders like these was staring at a wall. Not a firewall that failed. Not some 0-day nobody could have predicted. Something smaller. Something almost embarrassing to say out loud on a documentary about the largest data breach in American history. We'll get there. Equifax is not a company most people think about. They don't advertise directly to you. You have never agreed to give them your data. There is no checkbox, no opt-out. Your bank reports to Equifax. Your landlord does. Your employer may. Equifax collects your repayment history, your past addresses, your bankruptcies, your insurance claims, possibly your immigration status. By 2017, credit profiles on 820 million consumers, records on 91 million businesses, operations in 24 countries. On August 17, 2017, CEO Richard Smith gave a speech at the University of Georgia. He was proud. He said, "We manage almost 1,200 times the amount of data held in the Library of Congress every day." 3 weeks later, the breach became public. Financial index provider MSCI had already rated Equifax's data security 0 out of 10. August 2016. They ran the assessment again in April 2017. Same rating, 0. Their report stated Equifax shows no evidence of data breach plans or regular audits of its information security policies and systems. 0. 4 months before the breach. February 14, 2017. A security researcher reports a critical flaw to the Apache Software Foundation. Apache Struts is middleware. It sits between an operating system and a web application and makes them talk to each other. Equifax is running it on ASIS, its consumer dispute portal. A public-facing system, internet accessible. March 7th, the flaw goes public. CVE 2017-5638. CVSS base score 10.0. Maximum. Remotely exploitable. 0 privileges required. 0 user interaction. Low attack complexity. The National Vulnerability Database notes it enables total loss of data confidentiality. An attacker can expect repeatable success. Same day, exploitation guides appear on Chinese security forums. Metasploit adds it to its framework. Active attacks begin worldwide within hours. March 8th. U.S. CERT sends Equifax a direct alert. Patch now. March 9th. Equifax's internal global threat and vulnerability management team emails 430 people. The language is unambiguous. As exploits are available for this vulnerability and it is currently being exploited, it is rated critical and requires patching within 48 hours. 430 people. 48-hour window. Equifax ran 2 scans to find any systems still running the vulnerable version. The first checked the root directory. Apache Struts was installed in a subdirectory. Wrong folder. The second used McAfee Vulnerability Manager on 958 external-facing IP addresses. Found nothing. Equifax concluded ASIS was clean. It was not. The patching process, the congressional investigation later confirmed, operated on, and this is a direct quote from internal documents, the honor system. No enforcement mechanism, no verification, no defined accountability, just a 48-hour alert email and trust. Remember what we said at the start. Something small, something almost embarrassing. Here it is. ASIS, the automated consumer interview system, was built in the 1970s. Internet-facing, used by millions of Americans disputing errors on their credit reports. Running on legacy infrastructure in a data center in Alpharetta, Georgia. To inspect incoming and outgoing traffic, Equifax used an SSL-V appliance, an SSL visibility device. Because that traffic is encrypted, you cannot inspect it in transit. The SSL-V appliance decrypts it, routes it through the intrusion detection and prevention systems for analysis, and re-encrypts it. Both the IDS and the IPS sat behind that appliance. If the appliance isn't decrypting, neither system sees anything. Not degraded visibility, total blindness. The SSL certificate on that SSL-V appliance expired January 31st, 2016. The device's default configuration, when the certificate expires, pass traffic through anyway. Just stop decrypting it. For 19 months, all encrypted traffic to and from ASIS ran through that appliance completely unexamined. Every packet, every request, every response. The IDS and IPS watched nothing. Here is what Equifax's own internal records show. A vulnerability assessment entry dated January 20th, 2017, 4 months before the breach began, explicitly stated, SSL-V devices are missing certificates, limiting visibility to web-based attacks on intrusion prevention system. They flagged it themselves, in writing. Nothing was done. At the time of discovery, Equifax had allowed 324 SSL certificates to expire across its environment. 79 of those 324 were for devices monitoring highly business-critical domains. 324. May 13th, 2017. The attack begins. Entry point: the unpatched Apache Struts vulnerability in ASIS. First action: run Who Am I? Standard recon. The attackers confirm what environment they're inside. Then they upload web shells, malicious JSP files, onto the ASIS application servers. Approximately 30 unique web shells, persistent backdoors, full remote execution capability. File integrity monitoring would have caught this. Equifax did not have file integrity monitoring enabled on ASIS. From the web shells, the attackers locate a mounted file share containing unencrypted application credentials, usernames and passwords stored in a plaintext configuration file. This violated Equifax's own internal policy. Nobody enforced it. ASIS needed access to exactly 3 databases to function: Due to zero network segmentation, those stolen credentials unlocked 48 unrelated databases throughout the Equifax environment. The attackers ran 9,000 queries across those 48 databases. Methodical, systematic. 265 return datasets containing PII. None of that PII was encrypted at rest. They compressed the output into files, used wget, a standard Unix command line tool, to pull those files out of the network. They rotated through 35 different IP addresses to avoid triggering any behavioral detection. 76 days. Not one alert. Not one detection event. The monitoring device was blind. The IDS and the IPS saw nothing. 148 million records moved out of the Equifax environment undetected. July 29, 2017, 9 p.m. Equifax's countermeasures team uploads 67 new SSL certificates to the SSLV appliance in Alpharetta. Routine maintenance update. Among those 67 is the certificate for ai.equifax.com, the ASIS monitoring domain, the one that expired 19 months ago. The appliance begins decrypting traffic. Within minutes, the team detects a suspicious request from an IP address originating in China. They pull the packet captures. Server responses over 10 megabytes, possibly containing image files from consumer credit investigation documents. They search historical logs for that IP address. Persistent contact with ASIS since at least July 25th. Everything before July 29th is a void. 76 days of attack traffic. Unlogged, unrecorded, irrecoverable, because the device wasn't decrypting. July 30th. Equifax's security team discovers 2 unexpected JSP web shell files embedded in the ASIS application. SQL injection vulnerabilities. Additional suspicious traffic from a second IP address, registered to a German ISP but leased to a Chinese provider. At 12:41 p.m., ASIS is taken offline for emergency maintenance. The attack ends. July 31st. CIO David Webb tells CEO Richard Smith about the incident. He describes it as a portal used by millions of customers. He has no sense of the scale. 2 days later, Webb leaves on an international vacation. He is gone until August 16th. August 15th. Equifax staff confirms consumer PII was stolen. August 24th. Forensic firm Mandiant confirms large volumes. The analysis takes weeks. Equifax had no list of database owners, and data across the 48 compromised databases was not clearly labeled by any consistent schema. September 4th. First victim count, 143 million. September 7th. Public announcement. Equifax's breach notification website, equifaxsecurity2017.com, collapses immediately under demand. An Equifax employee accidentally sends the official company Twitter account's followers to a phishing site, securityequifax2017.com, word order reversed, for nearly 2 weeks before it's caught. The company that raided your financial identity, directing its own victims to a phishing domain. Equifax's stock falls 35% in the first week. $6 billion in market value. Gone. September 15. CIO David Webb retires. CSO Susan Malden retires. Webb later admits to Congress his retirement was accelerated. September 26. CEO Richard Smith retires. October 2nd. Mandiant identifies 2.5 million additional victims. Total now, 145.5 million. On the same day, Equifax terminates Graham Payne, Senior Vice President, 7-year highly rated employee, for failing to forward the March 9 patch alert email. Payne was one of 430 people who received that email. He was not listed as a system owner. He was never directed to forward it by anyone. Under Equifax's own patch management policy, no specific action was required of him. He is terminated the day before the former CEO testifies in front of Congress. October 3rd, Richard Smith testifies before Congress. He attributes the breach to human error. One person who didn't communicate the need to patch. He does not mention the expired SSL certificate. He does not mention 324 expired certificates. He does not mention 19 months of blind monitoring. He does not mention credentials stored in plain text. He does not mention 48 unprotected databases. Payne watched that testimony. His words, a gross simplification of what actually had occurred. Shortly after the public announcement, the IRS awarded Equifax a $7.25 million contract for taxpayer identity verification services. The House Oversight Committee's 2018 report is 96 pages. It traces the failure through every layer. A security function that reported to legal instead of IT. Patch management that operated on trust. Certificate management that didn't formally exist. Legacy systems nobody fully understood. Databases nobody owned. Credentials stored in plain text. A complex IT environment accumulated through 18 acquisitions that outran the company's ability to secure it. The first substantive conclusion on the second page. Such a breach was entirely preventable. Not mostly, entirely. One active SSL certificate, renewed on January 31st, 2016, instead of left to expire, is the gap between 148 million compromised records and zero. A certificate that costs nothing to renew, that requires no specialized expertise to manage, that Equifax's own internal assessment had flagged as missing, in writing, 4 months before the attack. The company managing 1,200 times the Library of Congress every day built no reliable process to track expiration dates on its own security infrastructure. The patching system ran on the honor system. The monitoring device sat blind for 19 months. 0 out of 10. That was the rating. Before the breach. That's the finding. Subscribe to the White Collar Autopsy. We'll see you in the next dissection.